Hi everyone. So let's talk about the rest of the topic, what is left in this topic of Division 1, that is from 1939 to 1956. So we have finished culture, identity, everything. Now the next section is belief and thought. Belief and thought is a section that specifically talks about the religious beliefs and the intellectual nature of the Britain at that time. Who was an intellectual at that time? How do you define an intellectual in Britain in the 1950s at that time? Let's talk about the religion first. So we know that there is English Church and there is Roman Catholics. And also there was another races coming, I told you, and they all belong to different religions. There was also a growing number of Islamic population. Unlike the popular belief, the religious conflict in Britain, even today, has never been about Islam or the English Church or the Christians or the Islam. It has always been about the religious people and the secular people. See, the modern generation is now, they are no more practicing Christians. They don't attend church, they don't attend any services. They are very inactive believers. They are not even believers, they are secular people. But there is also another part in this population who believe in Christianity. English monarchy, for example, English monarchy believes in Christianity, the tenets of Christianity. They are believers, and also they show their belief, their faith, by attending services regularly, and because they have to set that model. I told you about Englishness and Britishness in the last video, so you know that monarchy also symbolizes Englishness and the virtue of Englishness, the Christianity, the qualities of Christianity and everything. So when you talk about belief in Britain, you must always mention this, which I have already given in the PDF, but let me read that to you. Rather than the religious conflicts between English church believers, Roman Catholics or Islam, the conflict is actually between the secularism and religious in the Britain. So this is the only thing you should remember about religion. Now let's talk about the thought process, how people found someone who is intelligent. How can you say one is intellectual? Because intellectual was a term at that time, it automatically became synonymous for a writer. See, intellectual means it can be a scientifically intellectual person, right? A scientist can be intellectual, but those days, specifically in the 1950s, the term intellectual was associated with someone who was there in arts, an artist, a writer, but not a scientist, because I'll tell you why. See, Hiroshima and Nagasaki incident, I told you, with that incident, Second World War officially ends. Ever since Hiroshima and Nagasaki incident, the scientists, the whole community was not viewed by people as anything positive. They always saw, or they always portrayed scientists as someone or people with no morality at all. They always concentrate on their innovations, their scientific innovations, and that has nothing to do with the welfare of the people. In other words, there is no value in a scientist. So scientists were not recognized as they are today, because we have COVID-19 problem now. Now we know the value of scientists, doctors, but 1950s was the time that they hated scientists. So an intellectual was by default a writer, an artist. So for scientists it was not a good time. So I have given that information in a very formal language in the PDF I gave you. Please read that. So with that, belief and thought, that section is over. Thank you.